Hi guys, good morning, or good night, wherever around the world you are. Today I say hello. Blessings, peace, love, and joy. I have a story to tell you, and I want you to listen keenly to this story. There was once a little girl born in a situation of uncertainty. Uncertainty because there was not a sealed confirmation or a sealed relaxation as it relates to if she was actually needed at that time. And I do believe that when she was born, she was not needed at that time. And so a decision had to be made about that little girl. A decision had to be made. And so she was passed on to a family member to be grown, to be raised. But then something happened while that family member was growing that little girl. That little girl started to rebel. Uncomfortable situations started to occur where that little girl was concerned. And so that little girl was sent from whence she came. But still, in the mind of that little girl's mother, she still was not ready to receive that little girl. And I do believe there was a profound love for that little girl. And so she said, you know what? She's my little girl nonetheless, so I will take her back. And so, taking her back, that little girl still did not know what this was about because she was still young, still wanting to be wanted. Still having this urge and these questions in her mind as a little girl, wondering, was I needed? Am I needed? I do believe that little girl asked that question, am I needed? Because being told you were given away, and then who you were given to could not have kept you, and so you were sent back. So in that little girl's mind, she was searching for questions, wanting to know if she was wanted. So that little girl had to now learn new things, adapt to a new environment and new surroundings, not knowing if she was needed. And so oftentimes that little girl was placed in a corner. She found herself in a corner constantly, wondering, was she needed? Tears constantly came to her eyes and down her cheeks and on her chest because she did not know if she was needed. She constantly sought for the attention and the affection from who gave her away. But as that little girl grew older, that little girl only rebelled. And that little girl kept rebelling and she kept rebelling, and until she got pregnant at 13. That little girl got pregnant at 13 years. She wasn't raped. No, she wasn't. She wasn't curious. No, she wasn't. But that event just happened. She didn't have a boyfriend. No, she didn't. And that little girl had an abortion at 13. And everything about that little girl spiraled down a pipe hole. She began to feel as though she did not have a purpose in life. She began to feel as though this was just the norm and that she should work with everything that has been talked about her. Doors were slammed in her face. Her community rejected her. Her peers were told that they should not speak to her because she is an unruly child and she is bad company. Parents told their children that they should not keep her company. They were beaten and punished if they were seen in her presence. But this little girl grew and she rebelled even more. She went from pillar to post, from man to bed, from hand to hand, and she went around as an handbag, as money without respect of person, money going anybody's hand. But this little girl, deep down inside her, she felt a nudging. Because you see, the woman that she was given to taught her some valuable things in life. And I believe that the Lord allowed that woman to teach her some valuable things in life. And one of the things she taught her and embedded in her was that she was a gift. Not to people, but that little girl knew she was a gift from God. But somewhere along the line, that little girl got misguided. She smoked. She did drugs. The only thing that was left for that little girl to do was to collect money when she gave herself. It sounds like a familiar story that others might tell. A familiar story that other young girls might relate to. But I tell this story this morning because that young girl turned out to be the royalty she is and was created to be. That young girl found her purpose. That young girl cried when she found her purpose. One day that young girl was at home, and that young girl heard a voice say to her, "You were not called, you were chosen." That young girl was told that she is the head and not the tail. I got tears in my eyes for this story. Because because this story belongs to me. Excuse me. Please see with me this morning. I don't mean to get emotional, but I want you to listen to this video. Because I started this channel not because I wanted a limelight. I started this channel not because I wanted people to see me. And if anybody knows me, and those who are really close to me, and they're really few. I have some undercover cheerleaders. Yes, I have. But I have some openly exposed cheerleaders in my life. And I thank God every day. My life proved that there is a God. And I started this channel mainly to motivate women. Motivate young girls. That the beginning of your race is not your final destination. You might be just starting out, and whatever the situation, whatever the challenges that you're facing, you might be motherless, you might be fatherless, you might be homeless, you might be clothesless, you might be on the pole, you might be stripping for what you want, you might be living from hand to mouth, you might be begging, you might be going through a lot of things. But I started this channel not for fame and fortune. I started this channel because I wanted to tell some young people that guess what? Your final destination is not in the alleys and in the aisles of what people tell you about yourself. I was scorned growing up. I was rejected growing up. When I met my husband and I told him about my situation, and I told him that the valleys and the depths that I've gone through. And one of the things why I told him that a lot of people would tell me, no, you should not share certain things in your past should be left as a past. But I used it as a test. Because there was a church brother that I was given to. And I told him the very same story, and he looked at me and said, I promised my grandmother that I would marry a virgin. And so he he ran. And I said, okay, this one is not for me. And when I met my husband, funny enough, I wasn't looking for a husband. I wasn't looking for anybody. I just wanted to know Jesus. I just wanted to know this man called Jesus, and I wanted to know what else is there for me. And I just simply wanted to know what is it that is next. And so he pursued me. And I sat him down and I told him my journey. And he cried. Tears ran down his face, and he cried. And something inside of me leaped, and I knew this man was mine. Because he looked beyond my scars. He looked beyond everything. And today I've met that man 10 years ago. 10 years ago. We share a beautiful family. We have our ups and our downs. We have challenges like any other relationship, any other marriage. And if it weren't for God sitting in the middle of our marriage, there would be no marriage. But the moral of the story is to tell somebody this morning that your end destination does not lie in somebody else's hand. If it is your mother this morning that is telling you negatively, if it is a friend, if it's your neighbors, if doors have been closed before you, then it is okay. because there's something shining in your alley and on you that nothing and nobody else can remove. Nobody else can ever remove it. Nobody else will ever dare try to remove it. You know, sometimes some people are not allowed to see your final destination. Today, people don't know what to think when they see me. The same people that rejected me don't know what to think when they see me. You have people talking to me just because they feel guilty of what they did and how they rejected me when I was growing up. How they rejected me. I went through series even in primary school where people would scorn me. As a young girl going to school, primary school, I remember grade 5 and even in grade 6. I remember I was scorned. I remember I was scorned. And some of the people that scorned me in primary school, I can tell you, young ladies, I can tell you their lives aren't better today. There was one familiar one, I will not call any names, and my husband knows her, and he saw her one day and he came home and he said, honey, and he told me about her situation and I got goose pimples. I started this channel, I was nudged in starting this channel because I believe my story is gonna help a lot of people. And I'm not gonna come here every day and tell you a story. No, I will use it in scenarios. I'm going to use it in scenarios because when I come here and motivate you and tell you to smile, it's because I know what it takes to smile, and I know how massive it is to smile, and I know how glorious it is, something that comes from you when you smile. And when I tell you to push, I know because I've had to push and I'm still pushing. I've had to push. I've had to know how royal I am. I had to fix my crown even when nobody saw the crown on my head. I had to realize that there was a crown on my head. Young ladies, get up. Brush yourself off. And get up. I have tears this morning, not because I'm feeling sorry for myself, but because I feel victory. Because I am a success story. Because when I walk in my community today, and those that scorned me and talked about me with the neighbors, look at me. And call to me with great pride. And I feel a greater pride. The Bible says that the builders reject becomes the chief cornerstone. While I grew up, the choosiest stones were used in the foundation. But I held a vital part of making the building complete. And I make this video this morning to say thank you and to motivate others, but also to say thank you. Thank you for those who prayed. Thank you for those who did not turn their backs. Thank you to my aunt. Thank you to my mother who still stands in my corner, and I understand that you love me with everything in your heart. Because you too have gone through a lot. And I will stand beside you until we both walk hand in hand to the finishing line. My mother, I love you. My aunt, my sisters, my siblings. The finishing product is not yet done. But this is just one step to it. So young girls, get up. You don't have to fit in. You don't have to fit in. I tell my son every day that you don't have to fit in. If they don't like you, it's fine. Even last night we were coming home and I told him the same thing. He was saying something to me and I was telling him that story. You don't have to fit in. Just be you. Just be you. The manifestation of who you are called to be will come. So young girls, you don't have to lie in the man's bed. You don't have to take his money. If you can't go to school today, it's okay. Go read a book. Instead of watching foolishness on YouTube, listen to motivational videos. Align yourself with those that can bring you closer to your destiny and to your purpose. You might not know what purpose you serve, but whatever purpose is nudging inside of you, something deep down inside of your belly, pulling you, and it's pulling you, and it's like something telling you that there's a greater tomorrow. Trust in it and align yourself. Because the naysayers, they'll always be there. I started this channel and there are naysayers. And they'll always be there. And I thank you. Please stay there. Please stay there, because God said that it is before my enemies he shall spread a table. So you got to be there. Don't move. Do not move. I beg you, do not move. Because there's something mighty coming and I want you to see it. Because when you see it, is not to say a baby before you. It is to help you and to tell you that come. Don't hate on somebody else to become great. Love. Love. I don't speak more often. I don't tell people my business. But the Lord allowed me to start this. And I've been procrastinating about this channel for ever so long, because I don't like people knowing my business. But I go through things in life because I need to help somebody else to come up. I need to stretch my hands and say, come. 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 Young girls, come. Come. I'm calling you forth. Come. Come. Don't stay there. Don't stay there. When I was in high school, there was a VP there, and I was talking to a young girl, a schoolmate, a classmate. As a matter of fact, I was in the staircase. And because they know my situation, and because they knew I was living with a man, going through high school, because they knew I was living with him, and she came out of her office and she turned to the young girl, the student, and she said, "Don't stand here talking to Jade. Jade bread butter two side. Go to class and leave her alone." There were times I stopped from school because of situations, and there were rumors. There was a young girl who spread a rumor. She's pregnant, so she can't come back. And when I showed up at school, that was after, and she faced me, and the school talked about it, and they talked about it, and the following school year, she became pregnant and she dropped out of school. People, help the young ladies. Help our women to become women. Help our young girls to become women. Help them. Cause a ripple effect in this society that the world will speak about. Cause a ripple effect in the lives. Don't just pay attention to your children. Don't just pay attention to your daughter. Don't pay attention to your son only. Pay attention. Gone were the days when the village grew the children. It's not village grow the children anymore. Some people don't believe in even that talk. But I can tell you today, pay attention to your neighbor child. Add something positive to your neighbor child. Add something positive. There was purpose on my life, so I had to elevate from above, from beneath it. I had to climb from beneath it. And this is not a sub story, this is a victory story. This is a victory story. And so today I'm going to ask you to share this video. Share it. If you find it interesting, I won't even ask you to do that. But do as you see fit. Like it if you see fit. Subscribe. And don't forget the bell notification. Don't forget the bell notification. Help somebody today. Help somebody. Help somebody. Because you do not know. If you saw a peek, just a little tip, a little glare of the person that you're mistreating today, if you saw their future, you would change it in the wink of an eye. But we need genuine help and genuine people. We need genuine help in society. We need the girls to understand that you do not need to stoop to the lowest. We need people to understand that you don't need to badmouth. You don't need to push off negatively on people. You don't need to climb on top of people to reach there. You need to help somebody. The only time you should be looking down on somebody is if you're pushing your hand down to lift them up. Somebody in this society need to wake up. You need to wake up in this society. You don't need to take the skills from an eye. Stop badmouth your neighbor daughter. Stop badmouth your students. Stop badmouth the people in church. Stop badmouth Pastor Pickney. Pastor, stop badmouth Sister Pickney. Stop badmouth the people them in your congregation. Stop preach upon them. Stop it. Mothers, see the goodness in your children and wake up. Wake up. The women in the society, they are royalty. You don't have to be naked to be royal and to seek attention from anybody. Your father is a king and he sees you as royalty. Anybody else that is coming to you, young ladies, anybody else that is coming to you and do not see what your father above sees in you and shines through you, they don't deserve your company. They don't deserve you. Those that come around you, they will know who you are and whose you are and who you have been chosen to be, and the worth in you. Those that see the worth in you will stay. And those that don't will go, and it is okay. Tyler Perry said that it's not everybody come as roots. You have some tree leaves that will blow away. You have some branches that will break when pressure take them. But those that come in your life that realize that who you are and realize the worth in you will help to push you. If they're not pushing you, don't try to fit in. Don't try be an orange in the middle of a garlic. If you're orange, you're orange. Be the orange and shine through orange. Bless you today. Bless you. Just another motivation. Just another motivation from me to you. Be encouraged today. And smile. Be positive. Allow positive energy to flow through you. And share this video with somebody today that you know will need it. Blessings in abundance. And be the person that you're called to be. If you're called to write, write. If you're called to sing, sing. If you're called to dance, dance. And everybody's not going to operate as the hand, because we have to operate as somebody have to be the foot, somebody have to be the eye, somebody have to be the nose, somebody have to be the tongue, somebody have to be the mouth and the ears and the hair and the skin. Operate in what you're called to operate in. Young girls, get up. Just another day from me to you. And remember, don't forget you, because when you forget you, you can't give to anybody else. Love you. Show yourself the amount of love so you can love those around you. Unconditional. Give. Be sacrificial givers. And when I say sacrificial givers, I mean don't just keep it all to yourself. When your cup full, allow it to run over onto somebody else. Bless you. You're beautiful. You are awesome. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. You're royalty. Fix your crown. Fix it. Fix it. Because you're awesome. Share it, like, subscribe, press the bell button, and have an awesome day. Bye, guys.